Oh my God, can we just say the quiet part out loud right now? Because it's costing you years not to. You can be wildly, desperately, movie montage in love and still be wrong for each other in daily life. Love can be real and still be wrong. How the hell do I know? Because if love were enough, every couple that felt it would be living in peace. And you and I both know that is not how this works. So let me ask you the 3 questions that snap you awake. Are you in love or are you in hope? Are you in a relationship or in a project? Are you building a life or bargaining with reality? You know exactly which one you're in because your body tells on you. If your chest tightens before you text, if you rehearse what you'll say so they don't blow up, if you're doing calculus just to ask for what you need, you are not in a partnership. You are in negotiations with yourself. Here's the painful twist nobody taught us. Love is emotion. Compatibility is logistics plus values plus nervous system safety. Love is fireworks. Compatibility is the fire code, the escape routes, the rent paid on time, and the neighbors not calling 911. Love is the spark. Compatibility is the wiring that keeps the lights on. And you cannot perform your way into compatibility. You cannot contort caretaking, overfunctioning, giving more and more and more, hoping they'll become the person your heart knows they could be. Consider how hard it is to change yourself on your best week. How foolish to think you can change someone else by effort alone. So here's what we're doing today. No more guessing, no more vibes, no more reading tea leaves from a 3-word text. Clarity does not come from chemistry. Clarity comes from words. I'm going to give you 5 signs of real-world incompatibility. For each sign, you'll get a self-check question you can answer by yourself and a next conversation prompt you can use with them. Because every great relationship is forged in the crucible of hard conversations. And a hard conversation is just the one you're afraid to have. And yes, I am going to put a clock on this without making you panic. Time is not a bully. Time is a truth teller. Ignore incompatibility. And you don't just lose months, you leak energy. You stack resentment. And inch by inch, you surrender your self-respect. You wake up one day explaining your own needs like they're unreasonable and wondering where your fire went. I am not letting that happen to you on my watch. Love is not the finish line. Compatibility is what makes love livable. That's the standard. That's the filter. And if nobody else has told you this yet, hear me now. You are allowed to choose a life that feels peaceful in your body, aligned in your values, and fair in the effort it takes. Buckle up. We're going to get you clear, and then we're going to get you free. All right, here's the quick map you have to memorize because it will save you years. There are 4 levels. Level 1, admiration. You like the idea of them. You're impressed. From a distance, you're like, holy cow, what a catch. Level 2, mutual attraction. The energy is hot. The texts are fast. Your body is like, let's go. Level 3, commitment. Clear words, shared boundaries. Both of you choosing to build something and showing up accordingly. Level 4, compatibility. Daily life works. You can get your fundamental needs met while being fully yourself. Not sometimes, not only on vacation, in real life, with bills and families and stress, without constantly negotiating your worth. Most of us confuse level 3 feelings with level 4 fit. We get commitment vibes and call it a future. We hear I miss you and translate it as I can meet you. We see effort for a weekend and crown it as capacity for a lifetime. There's no such thing as deep level 2. It's just level freaking 2. And level 3 without level 4 will drain you dry because you'll keep performing to maintain the promise instead of assessing if the promise is even possible. Let me call out the trap that keeps you stuck. If I just explain it better, if we just get past this season, if they just heal, just get promoted, just stop being stressed, just finally move, then we'll be fine. That's not a plan. That's a fantasy. How do I know? Because a plan lives in calendar blocks and changed behavior. A fantasy lives in your head and asks you to hold your breath. Compatibility is concrete. It sounds like this. I tell you the truth and I feel safer, not punished. Our values rhyme. How we spend money, time, holidays, energy. The effort is fair. Maybe not 50 over 50 every day, but 100 over 100 over time. Our conflict builds understanding, not scars. And the picture of the life we want, the kids or no kids, the city or the farm, the pace and the priorities, it overlaps enough that neither of us has to shrink to fit. And I need you to hear this with love. Even if they're a good person, even if you are deeply in love, they can still be the wrong partner for your life. Good people can be wrong people for you. That doesn't make them a villain. It makes you honest. Why does this matter right now? Because you don't need more passion. You need a clear map for whether daily life actually works. When you use this map, you stop begging chemistry to do a job it was never hired to do. You stop wasting your prime resource, your energy on potential, and you start investing it in reality. So as we go into the 5 signs, I want you to treat everything like data, not drama, not blame, data. Your relationship is generating information every single day. We're going to read it, we're going to score it, and then you're going to decide together or apart what you're building from here. Let's reset the standard right now, because this is the hinge that your whole life swings on. Loving yourself is not a mood you wait to feel. It's a choice you make and remake in the tiny interactions you have every day. Self-love shows up as standards. It's what you allow in your space, what you tolerate in your body, and what you keep explaining away because you're afraid of what the truth might cost. Every time you say it's fine when it's not, you take $1 out of your self-respect account. Every time you normalize a pattern that hurts you, you teach your nervous system that your needs are negotiable. And I love you too much to let you keep doing that to yourself. Here's the most practical way to see it. You have an energy budget, real money, real time, real bandwidth. You get a daily deposit sleep, coffee, a walk, a laugh. And relationships are either investments that compound or expenses that drain. Compatibility is your return on energy. When you are compatible, the daily costs of coordination, conflict planning, and being yourself are reasonable, and the dividends are connection, ease, and momentum. When you're not, your normal week feels like you're paying overdraft fees on the hour. You're spending energy to earn basic safety. You're spending energy to avoid their moods. You're spending energy to reframe the same problem for the 5th time. That is not love. That is poor allocation. I also want to make room for the part of you that's already crying, because you know realizing you're incompatible is not just losing a person. It's losing the movie you were playing in your head, the holidays you pictured, the house you furnished in your imagination, the version of you that finally gets to exhale. That grief is real. Let it move through you, not run you. You're not weak for mourning a future that will not happen. You're wise for telling the truth before you waste more of your life trying to force it. And this is a safety moment, so hear me. I am not saying dump them right now. I am saying stop lying to yourself right now. Shift from hope to habits. If you need a tool, do a 1-4-day energy audit. Each day, write 2 columns. Gave me energy, cost me energy. Note the patterns tied to behavior, not promises. You'll see the math in black and white. That is your standard speaking. Raising your standards is not about punishing anyone. It's about protecting your time, your energy, and your future. It sounds like my energy is precious, so I need consistency more than intensity. It sounds like I don't debate my needs. I discuss how we can meet them, and if we can't, I adjust my investment. It sounds like I'm a person in the room and my peace matters. So before we dive into the first sign, ask yourself the question that cuts through the noise. Where are you doing the most work just to make the relationship feel normal? That's your hotspot. That's where we're going next. I believe in you. Let's get you your energy back. Let's start with the spreadsheet in your head, because you know exactly what I'm talking about. The tally marks you make without even realizing it. Who texted last? Who apologized last? Who initiated the date? Who initiated the intimacy? Who drove? Who canceled? Who compromised? Who remembered the plan you made 3 times in a row? Who is tiptoeing around whose mood this week? That is relationship math. And if you're doing it every day, that's not love. That's accounting. That's you trying to budget for a partnership that's already overdrawn. Is it peaceful or is it a performance? Are you present or are you managing? Do you get to relax or are you narrating everything you do so they won't misread it? You can feel it in your shoulders right now. When you keep score, you stop keeping yourself. Your nervous system is on patrol, always scanning for fairness, always bracing for the bill. And the hidden cost, resentment, starts subletting your heart while you're busy tallying. It moves in with its ugly furniture, and before you know it, the room that used to hold warmth is cramped with audits and arguments that begin with you always and you never. I want you to hear this because it's the whole point of sign number 1. If you have to constantly do the math, the relationship is already costing you more than it's giving you. Healthy love doesn't require a calculator. It runs on rhythm. There's give and take without a court stenographer recording every exchange. You don't need a receipt to feel respected. You don't have to prepay with 3 acts of service just to ask for a hug. Here's your self-check, and I want you to answer it honestly today. If you stopped keeping score for 1 week, would this relationship still function? If you didn't send the second text, if you didn't plan the weekend, if you didn't mop up the conflict and script both sides just to get to peace, would it keep moving or would it stall out until you rescued it again? That answer is your data. That answer tells you if you're in a partnership or a performance where you are the stage manager, janitor, and lead actor. Now the conversation. Calm, clear, adult. You say, I don't want a relationship where I'm constantly tracking effort. How do you think we should share the emotional load? And are you willing to? Then you stop talking. Let the silence do the sorting. This is where micro language matters. Vague is not a plan. Vague sounds like, I'll try. I'll be better. Don't worry. Concrete is commitment. Concrete sounds like, here's what I'll do starting now. I'll initiate plans every other weekend. I'll own Sunday grocery and the budget check-in. I'll text when I'm running late and set an alarm so I don't forget. Concrete has verbs, timelines, and ownership. If they flip it to you're too sensitive, if they turn it into a debate about your standards, that's more data. If they say yes, but then nothing changes, also data. You are not here to litigate your worth. You are here to tell the truth about the load and see if it gets shared. And please, for the love of your future peace, pair the words with a boundary. I'm going to stop managing and I'm going to match your effort, not as a punishment, as a reset. Watch what happens. Either they rise or the fantasy falls. Both outcomes give you your time and your self-respect back. I love you. Stay with the data. Sign number 2 is the sneaky one because it hides under the glitter of chemistry until life hands you a decision with a deadline. Values. What are we actually talking about in real life? Money, spender or saver, debt plan or YOLO. Work ethic 1, 2-hour grind or 4-day balance. Family boundaries. Do your parents have keys? Are holidays a rotation or a hostage situation? Religion or spirituality, weekly service or personal practice? How are we raising kids? Lifestyle, early mornings or late nights? Tidy or chaos? Sobriety, no substances ever, or social drinker who thinks you're too intense about it? Ambition, climb ladders or build hammocks? Honesty, white lies, or brutal truth? Health, sleep, movement, food, meds, parenting, screens, discipline, schools, generosity, and risk tolerance. Are we tipping big and investing in index funds or chasing crypto at 2 a.m.? These aren't cute preferences. These are the rails your life runs on. And yes, chemistry will smooth over the gap at first because dinner reservations are easy. Say yes to a trip, no problem. But watch what happens when you decide whether to move in, how to split rent, what car to buy, which in-laws get Thanksgiving, whether the job offer in another city is a yes, whether alcohol is at home, whether you're saving for fertility, daycare, or a down payment. If every decision becomes a debate about who has to shrink, you don't have a relationship problem. You have a values mismatch. So I'm going to ask you the questions that pull the fire alarm. Do you respect how they live? Do they respect how you live? Or are you both secretly trying to change each other? Be honest. Because if the plan is maybe they'll come around, what you're actually saying is, I'm willing to live braced. And that is the feeling you need to measure. Self-check. When you imagine the next 5 years with this person, money, family, work, health, are you excited or are you bracing? Does your chest open or does your jaw clench? Your body knows before your brain finishes the sentence. Now the conversation. You say, I need to talk about the values that run my life, money, family, work, health. I want to know what yours are and where you're not willing to bend. Then you listen like a scientist. Compatibility sounds like specificity and mutual respect. It sounds like I'm a saver. I want a monthly budget meeting. I prefer alternating holidays. I won't drink on weeknights. I need 8 hours of sleep. I'll cover mornings if you own evenings. Verbs, numbers, boundaries. Incompatibility sounds like contempt, minimization, or the deadly phrase, why do you care so much? It sounds like, relax, it's not that deep, we'll figure it out later, you're dramatic, your family's weird, you're controlling. That is not a difference in preference, that is a difference in respect. If you hear respect but different rails, you can build a plan and test it. If you hear contempt, you have your answer. And let me say this with love. When values don't match, love turns into a constant negotiation of who has to shrink. That is not your future. Your energy is precious. Your life is real. Ask the questions now, not after another year of bargaining with yourself. I love you. Choose alignment. Sign number 3 is the one your body has been whispering about for months. You can't be fully yourself without paying a price. What does that look like in real life? You trim your humor because sarcasm gets punished. You soften your opinions because debate turns to dismissal. You stop mentioning certain friends because it triggers jealousy. You downplay your ambitions because success sets off their insecurity. You hide feelings because tears cue the eye roll. Anger cues the shutdown. Joy cues the dig. It's predictable and it's punishing. So you start pre-editing. You rehearse on the drive over. You give a disclaimer before a sentence. You become the weather forecaster of their moods and you issue yourself a storm warning. That is not working on it. That is survival. There are 2 prices you end up paying. One is conflict avoidance. You walk on eggshells. You dodge. You swallow the sentence. You take the long way around the truth to keep the peace. The other is self-betrayal. You silence. You hide. You perform a watered-down version of you to be palatable. Both are expensive. Both bankrupt your energy. And I'm going to say the line that snaps you into reality. If you have to audition for love, that is not love. That is anxiety with benefits. Here's your self-check, and I want you to answer it without making excuses for them. When you're with them, do you feel more like you or less like you? Do you leave brighter or dimmer? Do you exhale or do you brace? Your nervous system doesn't lie. Freedom has a feel, so does self-editing. Now the conversation, because clarity lives in words. You say, I notice I hold back parts of myself because I'm worried about your reaction. I need to feel safe being honest. Can you handle that with me? Then you listen. Compatibility sounds like, thank you for telling me. I want the real you. If I get defensive, I'll catch it and try again. What helps you feel safe? I won't mock you. If I'm flooded, I'll take 10 minutes and come back. Incompatibility sounds like you're too sensitive. Relax. It was a joke. Why are you making this a thing? Stop being dramatic. Here we go again. One is an invitation. The other is a warning label. Pair the words with a standard, not a threat. You follow up with, if I can't be myself in this relationship, I can't stay in it. That's not a threat. That's a standard. And then you run a real test. Share one true thing this week you've been editing: an opinion, a boundary, a dream, a feeling, and observe. Do they get curious, slow down, repair when they miss? Or do they punish, minimize, flip it on you? Data, not drama. Because compatibility feels like freedom, incompatibility feels like self-editing. Freedom is laughing the way you laugh, loving what you love, wanting what you want without paying for it later. Self-editing is living braced. Choose the life where you can be exactly who you are and exactly who you're not. I love you. Protect your energy. Choose freedom. Okay? Freedom sounds great until the moment real life throws a grenade in the room and you two disagree. So let's talk about fights. because this is where compatibility either proves itself or exposes itself. Healthy conflict and harmful conflict can look loud or quiet, messy or measured, but the difference is simple. Healthy conflict is repair, harmful conflict is retaliation. Healthy conflict solves a problem. Harmful conflict tries to win. Healthy conflict owns impact. Harmful conflict blames, deflects, and keeps score. If every argument takes a chunk out of trust, you are not building a partnership, you are accumulating scars. What does the damage look like in real life? Stonewalling, weaponized silence, eye rolls, sarcasm, contempt, scorekeeping, dragging the ledger from 2021 into tonight's disagreement, name calling, character assassinations always, never, you're crazy, threats of leaving to gain leverage, breaking up, reuniting, and breaking up again every other month as a control tactic, slamming doors, disappearing for days, posting cryptic stories so they'll chase. That's not passion. That's volatility. And here's the test. After a fight, do you feel more connected or more alone? Do you feel proud of how you both handled it or embarrassed? Is there a plan or a hangover? Real relationships are forged in the crucible of hard conversations because both people can sit in discomfort without punishing each other. That's the tell. Can you hold your own emotion and also hold the other person's experience without turning it into a courtroom scene? Can you say I was wrong and make a change without a side of shame or a receipt for later? Compatibility shows up in conflict as we come back, we get curious, we repair. Incompatibility shows up as we escalate, we distort, we avoid, and then we pretend we're fine until the next explosion. So here's the reset you bring tonight. You say, I want us to have a new rule, 3 steps. We pause, we return, we repair. Are you willing to learn how to fight fair with me? Then you define the rule in plain language. So it's not vibes, it's a plan. Pause. When either of us is flooded, we call a timeout and say, I need 20 minutes to settle. I will come back at 7:30. Return. We actually come back when we said, repair. We use a repair script. Here's what I heard. Here's what I meant. Here's what I'm sorry for. Here's what I need next time. 4 sentences. No essays. No character assassination. Behavior, impact, next step. Add 2 guardrails so your nervous systems can exhale. No name calling. Ever. No threats of breaking up during conflict. If we're truly reconsidering the relationship, that's a separate, calm conversation, not a weapon mid-fight. And 1 accountability move. Each of us owns 1 concrete behavior we will change, and we put it in the calendar, alarm, reminder, whatever it takes. So it's not hope, it's habit. If they say yes and learn this with you, watch what happens. Conflict starts creating closeness because the 2 of you can rupture and then repair, and every repair lays another brick of trust. If they mock it, refuse it, or keep defaulting to contempt and threats, believe the data. You're not dramatic, you're detailed, protect your peace, because if conflict destroys trust, instead of building understanding, you're not building a partnership, you're accumulating scars. I love you. Ask for the rule, hold the standard, choose the kind of love that makes you feel safer after every hard talk, not smaller. Sign number 5 is the heartbreak one because it feels so unfair. You 2 are aligned on love, you feel it, you say it, you miss each other in the grocery store aisle, and yet the actual life you want does not match. Not in the places that matter. Kids or no kids. Marriage or never again. Timeline now in 2 years, after the promotion, after the degree, after their brother figures things out. Where to live, city or suburbs, near family or far away. Openness or monogamy. Caregiving, whose aging parent moves in and who pays for what. Career priorities, do we chase the job across the country or plant roots here? Financial goals, debt snowball or minimum payments and vibes. Save for fertility, a down payment or that dream sabbatical. You are clear on love and fuzzy on life. That's the sign. The giveaway is limbo. You start making micro sacrifices today for a macro future that is not mutually agreed upon. You renew the lease 1 more year. You keep your stuff in boxes until we know. You put the egg freezing brochure in a drawer because talking about kids stresses them out. You take the red eye twice a month for long distance while they get settled. You accept we don't have to label it even though you want monogamy. You float holidays, table the move, quiet the dream job interview. You are living on IOUs, and I need you to hear me all the way down to your bones. You do not get your years back. You do not get your energy back. And you definitely don't get to rewind a decade because you were scared to ask. Here's your self-check, and you answer it today. No spreadsheets, no excuses. If nothing changed for the next 12 months, would you feel relieved or devastated? If your chest drops when you picture same as now, that is your clarity. Devastated means you are bargaining against yourself. Relieved means you're actually okay with this season. Your body will tell the truth faster than your hope will. Now the conversation, clean and non-needy. You say, I need to talk about what I'm building. Here's what I want in my timeline. Does that work for you? Yes or no? Then you name it in verbs and dates, not vibes. I want marriage within 18 months. I want to start trying for a kid in 2027. I want monogamy now. I want to live within an hour of my family by next summer. I'm committed to a budget to save $40K in 2 years. I cannot be long distance past December. Then you stop. Let silence sort. Here's the listening test. A compatible partner engages and collaborates. They ask clarifying questions. They reflect back what they heard. They propose specifics. Okay, could we get engaged by next spring if we hit premarital counseling by August? Let's tour neighborhoods in May. I'll talk to my boss about the transfer by Friday. Let's book the fertility consult next month. Verbs, dates, ownership. An incompatible partner evades, delays, or asks you to downgrade your dream. Why the pressure? Can't we see how it goes? Let's be open to anything. Do we have to label this? Maybe we don't need kids. Maybe you could just commute. Maybe later. Later is a place where years disappear. Pair your ask with a standard that protects you from limbo. You say, if our timelines don't align, I won't wait indefinitely. I'm going to keep moving toward this vision with you if we can build it, or on my own if we can't. Then give it a real world test. 30 days for a plan with dates, 90 days for first milestones. If it's not in the calendar, it's a fantasy. Shared feelings don't create a shared future. Shared decisions do. I love you. Ask for the life you want. Hold the standard. Your future is not a negotiation with fear. It's a build you get to begin today. Take a breath. We just walked through the 5 signs. Now we stop romanticizing and we score reality without making anyone the bad guy. Because your job isn't to prove they're wrong. Your job is to tell the truth about what works for you. Here's the simplest debrief you'll ever do. For each sign, you mark it green, yellow, or red. Green means it works consistently with ease. You feel safe, respected, and the behavior shows up without you chasing it. Yellow means it's inconsistent, but there's willingness, repair, and movement over time. You see effort, you see change, you see dates in a calendar. Red means it's a pattern. Plus, there is no real repair, minimizing, contempt, stalling, or promises with no follow through. That's it. Color the truth. Now, as you color, I want you to separate a skills gap from a values gap, because this is where so many of us waste years. A skills gap is behavior they can learn if they are willing. Conflict tools, time management, emotional check-ins, planning a date, following through, using a repair script, those are skills. Willingness plus practice plus reminders equals progress. A values gap is not a training issue. Kids or no kids, monogamy or open, sobriety or substances at home, money philosophy, religion, where to live, ambition, family boundaries. You do not coach someone into wanting your life. If it's a values gap, stop bargaining with yourself. Alignment is required, not persuasion. Also, look at patterns, not moments. One bad week is not incompatibility. A repeated cycle is data. Don't let a romantic weekend erase 6 months of the same 3 fights. Don't let a grand gesture buy unlimited amnesia. Pattern test it. After a promise is made, what happens in the next 30, 60, 90 days? Is there new behavior or a familiar slide? 3 cycles of I'll change followed by the same outcome is not confusion, it's a red. And please, don't average extremes. Consistency beats intensity every time. When you finish your traffic light map, step into your agency. You are not diagnosing them. You are deciding what you will live with. Good person, wrong partner is a category. You're allowed to choose peace. You're allowed to choose energy. If most of your greens sit in emotional safety, effort, and conflict repair, and your yellows are skills with clear willingness, that's workable with a plan. If you've got reds in values or in the shared vision of life, believe that. Reds don't turn green because you love harder. They turn green when both people want the same thing and do the work. If you are staring at a wall of yellow, time box it. 90 days with verbs, dates, and ownership. Indefinite yellow is just red with better branding. Now, you take this data and you have the conversation you've been avoiding. Clean, non-needy, adult. You say, I mapped our relationship. Here's what's green, and I appreciate it. Here's what's yellow and the plan. I'd need specific behaviors by specific dates. Here's what's red for me. This is a values gap I cannot live with. I'm not blaming you. This is my standard. Are you willing to build this with me? Then stop. Let silence sort. Compatible partners collaborate. Incompatible partners defend, delay, or ask you to shrink. This is how you respect both of you. Score the reality. Name your standard. Invite a plan. If there's no plan, there's your answer. I love you and I believe in you. Go have the talk that gives you your time and your self-respect back. You've got the map. Now, there are only 2 conversations that change anything: repair or release. That's it. Not 10 more months of hints, not 3 more grand gestures, not a thesis on why you feel the way you feel. You either build a plan together or you stop building a fantasy alone. Conversation 1, repair. Pick one area, just one, that keeps draining your energy. Yellow or red, but specific. Then say the sentence and mean it. I need X. Are you willing to do Y with me for Z weeks and review? That's the whole script. I need emotional check-ins. Are you willing to do a 10-minute nightly debrief with me for 4 weeks and review? I need shared effort on logistics. Are you willing to own Sunday grocery and our Thursday budget check-in for 6 weeks and review? I need conflict repair. Are you willing to use the pause, return, repair rule with me for the next month and review? I need clarity on our future. Are you willing to book premarital counseling by the end of this month and set a decision point for engagement in 12 weeks? Verbs, dates, ownership. Put the review on the calendar before you leave the table. A timer on hope protects your life. Calm power language only. No over-explaining, no nervous apologies for having needs, no arguing the past like you're the district attorney of 2022. You're not proving a case. You're stating a standard and proposing a plan. Remove minimizing language, just, maybe, kind of, if that's okay. Replace with, I need, I'm asking, I will, by when. Then stop. Let silence sort. Compatible partners collaborate. They ask clarifying questions, add specifics, take responsibility. Incompatible partners deflect, delay, or make you wrong for needing anything. You are not policing change. You are observing it. Matching effort is your boundary. If they do the work, you lean in. If they don't, you don't. At the review, you look at behavior, not vibes. Did the check-ins happen? Did the counseling get booked? Did the rule get used? Yes equals keep building. No, unclear, or I forgot for the 3rd time equals conversation 2. Release, quiet spine, open heart. You say, I respect you. This isn't working for me long term. I'm not available for limbo. I can love you and still choose what's right for my life. I'm going to step away so we both can have the futures we want. No counter arguments, no character assassination, no 30-minute closing statement. If they press for a debate, you hold the line. I'm choosing alignment over intensity. I'm not asking you to agree. I'm telling you where I am. If guilt shows up, if tears show up, if bargaining shows up, please breathe and repeat. I can love you and still choose what's right for my life. Good person, wrong partner is a category. Let that be true without making anyone the villain. This is clarity, not victory. You are not trying to win. You are trying to stop losing time. Put the repair ask on tonight's calendar, or put the release words in your mouth by the end of the week. Daytime, sober, no 1 a.m., drama. Tell a friend, book a walk after, have water, tissues, and your standard. You either build a plan together or you stop building a fantasy alone. I love you and I believe in you. Go have the conversation that gives you your future back. Listen to me. You are not picky. You are responsible. Wanting compatibility is not being demanding. It's being a good steward of your one wild, non-refundable life. Love alone is not the finish line. Compatibility is what makes love livable, peaceful, repeatable. And you're allowed to want the kind of life where you can breathe. You are allowed to want ease. You are allowed to want a home that doesn't run on chaos and compromise you paid for with your sanity. You are a person in the room. Your needs count. Your timeline counts. Your energy counts. And yes, it's okay to grieve. It's okay to be scared. It's okay to love someone and also say, this doesn't work for my life. Feel it. Cry if you need to. Take the walk. Then choose yourself anyway. That is not selfish. That is leadership over your future. We are not villainizing anyone here. We are telling the truth about fit. Good person, wrong partner exists. Let it exist without making you small. Quick sweep, deep breath. Here we go. 5 signs, 1 plan. Sign 1, you're doing relationship math every day and it never adds up. Self-check. Am I constantly calculating what I give versus what I get? Conversation. I need matched effort. Can you do X with me for Y weeks in review? Decision. Observe the behavior. If it doesn't change, step back. Sign 2, values clash, and every decision is a fight. Self-check. Am I excited about the next 5 years or braced? Conversation. Here are my rails: money, family, work, health. What are yours? Decision, respect plus specifics equals plan. Contempt equals exit. Sign 3. You can't be yourself without paying a price. Self-check. Do I leave brighter or dimmer? Conversation. I need emotional safety and zero mocking. Can you handle that with me? Decision. If safety can't be created, that's a non-negotiable no. Sign 4. Conflict creates damage, not closeness. Self-check. After fights, do I feel more connected or more alone? Conversation. Pause, return, repair. Are you willing to use it with me? Decision. Implement or protect your peace. Sign 5. Aligned on love, not on life. Self-check. If nothing changed for 12 months, am I relieved or devastated? Conversation. Verbs and dates. Marriage. Kids. Move. Money by when? Decision. 30 days for a plan. 90 for first milestones or release. Now wrap it with the tool. Color your reality. Green, yellow, red. Separate skills from values. Run the repair ask or run the release line. Let silence sort. And remember, time is not neutral. Indefinite yellow is just red with glitter. You are not asking for too much. You are asking the wrong person to meet needs they either can't or won't meet. Ask the right person, starting with you. Put the talk on the calendar. Daytime, sober, calm. Text your friend for accountability. Then go do the grown-up thing your future self will thank you for. In case nobody tells you today, I love you and I believe in you. Now go have the conversation you're too afraid to have.